Hello, class. So we ran into on the very first lecture, we ran into an issue where some upgrade in the development environment resulted in removal of functionality that we were relying on to create the widgets. So what happened is this is what, if you were able to follow along, this was what your project would have looked like. And you would be able to add a widget, as you can see here on the left here of this project navigator. There is a widget one which has storyboard, and that's where we would put our images for the widgets. Now this, as you saw in part one of the lecture, we can actually run the project, which is called the widget demo, and you will see what it looks like. Basically, what we did was we showed a launch screen with one color that you will see now once it starts running in green background. This is our launch screen. And then it shows the first view controller, which is the yellow screen with a button. And then we added segues to go to the next one. So this was our simple app. And what we wanted to do was to add a widget which would show up like something like what you would see in Android if you've already done the advanced Android, the lecture one. Uh, right now what happens is if we try to choose the target of widget one, the new target that we added to run, because this functionality has been altogether removed from newer versions of iOS, this is iOS 14.5. It shows up here widget one, but it says unable to load. So what we will do is we'll briefly add a widget using the new scheme, which is the WidgetKit. So let me show you. WidgetKit. This is the new framework by Apple, which allows widgets, just like the Today extension which we were trying to do. These are the widgets, and this is how they will appear, and you have full freedom to design them just like you would any view of the app. You can design these things. So that's what we will see how to add, and just do a brief overview. I don't want to give you too much material in the very first week, so we'll keep it as short as possible. So to add a widget, the process is the same. You go into File, New, and choose a new target. And this is where previously there was a Today extension, which is gone, but instead there is something called a widget extension. So my suggestion is you do this, you add a widget extension. When you say next, it will ask you the name, etc. I'm going to say widget 2. Widget 1 doesn't work. We'll just say widget 2, and these settings, we want this to be included in the same project and embed in the application, whatever application name you chose. So basically, that's what will happen. And we will say finish. And you will see that on the left, a bunch of things here in the project navigator, a widget 2 folder should appear. Okay, just as before, if you watched the previous part of the lecture, it asks us to activate this scheme. We will activate it so it becomes available here as a run option. So widget 2. So now you see the differences. Widget 1 has a storyboard, widget 2 does not. So how does it know what view to display, what to display inside the widget? Oh, okay. So that happens using Swift UI. And this is our next lecture. But to tell you what Swift UI is, uh, within a widget, I want you to look for this line which says at main. In Swift UI, at main is the first view. And within these are all presented as structs. Within the first struct here, widget 2, which is called widget 2, same name as the file, there is one variable called body. This is what is displayed in the widget. And here it says that there is a display name, my widget, and description. This is an example widget. Okay. So this is what it is. There is a bunch of other things it's doing here. And what it is doing, if you examine, if you spend some time, you will see that it's creating a timeline. So basically, it will create some entries, timestamp, and something else, and display that as a widget. Now then, what happens if we run this? Let's see what happens. So this is our emulator, the simulator. All right, so see, something appeared here. The widget appeared on the main screen. The today extensions appear here, but those are deprecated now. So the widgets can sit anywhere on the screen. And this is what it looks like. If you click on it, it will launch the application. So okay, so the widget does get added uh, to this screen. And by default, the widgets we create, they come in multiple sizes. And how can you see that? So just press and hold your cursor in anywhere on the empty area on this screen, and you will see that a plus sign appears. If you click on the plus, it will give you a list of apps. You can either add the icon to the app itself, or actually this is for widgets. So see, it says here search widgets, and this is the app. I'm going to select it, and now you see it's given us three different sizes. So for example, I could choose this size and say add widget, and it has added. You can move it around just like you would an app icon, etc. And what is going on here, why does it show a timestamp right now, is because we are asking it in our widget to within the body to show this view, widget 2 entry view, which is programmed to basically show the date right now. Now, the purpose of widgets is to show you some content that you can look at and you know what's going on. Like, for example, here, top stories. Right now, these are the top stories. And this is like a timeline. That's why it's called a timeline. So it gets the latest ones and puts it here. If this widget was for your email app, it would be showing you what are the latest emails, etc. So that's what this is, and this gets modified and it shows a limited number here. So for example, this news app widget, it shows us two top stories and four trending, like that. So that is an introduction to widgets. And when we do the lecture on Swift UI, you will know, you will see how exactly you could modify this, customize it instead of showing the date, or how you could show some other information, whatever is relevant to us. For example, if you're making a game, you can make a, show the recent scores, etc. And along with this, I'm going to post some links for you to watch. I'll post a link to this, just introducing WidgetKit. And there is a document, there is a brief, sort of, it's not exactly a tutorial, but it describes how widgets work. This is by Apple, so I'll post this as well. And hopefully, this together with what we did, we could have done. If you won't be able to follow along, but you can still watch the lecture from before and see how we program those widgets. All right then. Thank you.